Hello viewers, this is yet another day. As I promised earlier, we will continue doing our day-to-day activities, that is making mathematics simpler and simpler. So today we have a question here. We have a question in which we are supposed to determine the values of x and y, and we are supposed to solve the simultaneous equation. The reason it's a simultaneous equation is because we have the value of x and the value of y, which we are supposed to determine. So in this question, this is how we are going to approach this question. And we have the first equation, 2x minus y is equal to 3. And we have the second equation, that is x squared minus xy is equal to negative 4. So we are going to take the first equation, 2x minus y is equal to 3. And in our first equation, we can decide to make y the subject of the formula. Making it the subject of the formula simply means we ensure that y is on one side of the equals sign. So we can decide to take y on the other side, and we can bring this 3 to this side. So we can have 2x minus 3. When 3 comes on this side, it will be minus. When negative y goes on the other side, definitely it's going to be y, and we can call that our equation 1. So our equation 1 is y is equal to 2x minus 3. And having this as the value of y, we will take our second equation, that is x squared minus xy is equal to negative 4. And we are going to substitute the value of y with 2x minus 3. So we are going to replace the value of y with 2x minus 3 because 2x minus 3 is a substitute of y. So we are going to take x squared minus x. We substitute it with the value of y, which is 2x minus 3 is equal to negative 4. So having that, we are going to open our brackets. X squared minus 2x times x will be 2x squared minus x multiplied by minus 3, that will give us plus 3x is equal to negative 4. Is equal to negative 4. By doing that, we can put our like terms together. X squared minus 2x squared will give us negative x squared, because this is a coefficient of 1. 1 minus 2 is equal to negative 1, plus 3x is equal to negative 4. So this has now formed a quadratic equation. We can bring our negative 4 on this side so that we are left with 0 on the other side of the equal sign, and we will have minus x squared plus 3x plus 4 is equal to 0. So having the coefficient of x squared as a negative, we can decide to make it positive by dividing everything with negative 1. And once we divide by negative 1, we are going to get x squared minus 3x minus 4 is equal to 0. Having that as our quadratic equation, remember we learned on how to solve a quadratic equation in our last lesson. That was the previous video that I did. There is a video I've described on how to find or how to solve a quadratic equation using a method we call factorization. So if it is your first time to enroll in my class, ensure you revisit my previous videos and check on how we solve a quadratic equation using factorization. And we said the first thing we find is what we call the product, and the product is the product of A and C, which we said is 1 and negative 4 will give us negative 4. And then we have the sum, and our sum is our B, and our B is negative 3. After getting the product and the sum, we are supposed to find the factors, and our factors should be two numbers in which when you multiply them, you will get negative 4. When you add them, you will get negative 3. And the two numbers will be equal to negative 4 and 1. So those are the two factors. Negative 4 multiplied by 1 will give us negative 4. negative 4 multiplied plus 1 will give us negative 3. Having that, we can now continue or proceed to solve the value of x. And how do we take it? We replace b with our factors. And we are going to have x squared minus 4x plus x minus 4 is equal to 0. So having that, we can now factorize 2 by 2, and we are going to have x into bracket x minus 4. Then in this next one will be plus 1 into bracket x minus 4 is equal to a 0. So having that, since our bracket is identical, we'll choose 1, x minus 4, and then we will take the figures which are there in the outside of the bracket, that is x plus 1, and that will be equivalent to a 0. So this simply implies that this is equal to 0 and this one is equal to 0, and we are going to have x minus 4 is equal to 0, or x plus 1 is equal to 0. For us to determine the value of x, we are going to take negative 4 to the other side and have x as 4, or our x here, we take positive 1 on the other side, we are going to have negative 1. So we have already determined the value of x. We are yet to determine the value of y. Remember when we started this question, we made y the subject of the formula in our first equation and came up with an equation which we called equation 1. So whatever we are going to do, we will take this equation, y is equal to 2x minus 3, and we are going to substitute the values of x in our equation to determine the value of y. Therefore, having x as 4, we are going to substitute x with 4 here, and we will have y is equal to 2 into brackets 4 minus 3, and we will get our y as 2 times 4 is equal to 8, 8 minus 3 is equal to 5, or our equation being 2x minus 3, having our x as negative 1, we will substitute it here, and we will have y is equal to 2 multiplied by negative 1 minus 3, and we will have our y as 2 times negative 1 is negative 2, negative 2 minus 3 is equal to negative 5. So our y will be equal to negative 5. So we have already determined the value of x and the value of y. So this simply implies that when x is 4, then y is 5. Then y is 5. Or when x is equal to negative 1, or then y is equal to negative 5. And by doing that, we are done. And that is how we solve this type of a simultaneous equation. As you see, in this simultaneous equation, we are still applying the concept of quadratic equation and how to solve quadratic equations. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Asaf Kariuki Online Maths. Ensure you hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, so that each and every time I upload a new video concerning math, a new video on mathematics, you'll always be updated with each and every activity that we'll be doing every day. So this is just an example of the applications of quadratic equations. There are still more examples that you can get from your revision books. Remember, the questions that we are doing are very, very, very examinable. That is in the Kenya Certificate of Secondary School Education, and I believe we are going to become better and better each and every day. So don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the like button. If you have any question, drop your question on the comment section. In case you need any assistance, here is my number. My number or my phone number is 0742090825. That is my business number. You can just dial that number. You can WhatsApp me through that number. In case you need any assistance, feel free to WhatsApp me in that number, and I believe the best will come out of us. Until I see you again in our next lesson, thank you so much. I wish you all the best. Thank you.